Hello, welcome. It's Stephanie Nicolo, Acting Gallery Manager at the Aurora Cultural Center. This evening, we're talking art with the Mayor Celebration of Youth Art Artist from 2002, Kathy. And I turn to her now to introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Kathy. I'm from Aurora High School. My art teacher is Miss Leanne Moore. And this art piece is called Life in Delivery. It's one of my final in grade 12 portfolio art. Is a mixed media installation with acrylic paint, photography, and all that.
Yes, your work is very layered, and I'm going to try to describe it to the audience here. We have a built up like a shoe rack or a coat rack, and then you have these acrylic paintings, oil painting, photography, all that you've created hanging off of the rack above a cardboard box that is springing to life with found objects. I believe there was an owl, like a stuffy. There is a photo of you as a baby. There's a booklet and a novel and more items that are coming out of the box. So we're going to kind of unpack, pun intended, this installation. Does that make sense?
That's lovely.
Awesome. I'm excited. I can't wait to hear directly from you about why you created this work. So let's start there. Why did you create this installation?
I find, well, during quarantine, I believe everyone has certain, like, it brings certain melancholy. Like, we all kind of experiencing a big change in our life forcefully. We didn't choose that. And somehow I try to adapt with it. But at the same time, it's like, you really want to be productive and you really want to be a good person, use that time effectively. But sometimes you just, like, your body is telling me, nah, you're not doing that. So I guess I was kind of disappointed at myself when the quarantine first began, because I was thinking to learn better by myself, to practice more independent working skill and independent kind of just adapting also. But turns out I couldn't in a short amount of time. And I just feel like I'm blending in with everything around me, because I am quarantined in my little house and in my little room. I'm going on online classes every day. And I feel like I'm blending in with the walls, everything around me, my bed, my computer. I don't feel like I'm existing anymore. Like, I don't feel anything anymore. It's really weird feeling, really, because you kind of want to feel emotion. Like, you don't want to feel like, okay, that's just life, that's just it, and you're gonna deal with it. Like, you don't want to feel like that. You still want to get motivation and you still want to kind of move forward. And this art piece is kind of my approach to gain an aspect of life that I find amusing, that I find pleasant, that I find upbringing kind of path. Yeah.
Okay, first off, thank you so much for opening up about how you were feeling and your feelings that developed during this pandemic and learning season. Can you remind the audience, and myself actually included, when this started, when we had to transition and pivot to online learning, what grade were you in?
Oh, I was in grade 10 when 2020. I was in grade 10 and it was March break. And when March break first started, I was like, yeah, this is not gonna be a big deal. We're just gonna have a longer March break. It's perfect. Everything's going terrific. But now we ended up having a long 2 years, kind of like a year and a half lockdown, where I started learning online, and I took online classes virtually full grade 11. Like, I took everything online for my grade 11 courses. Obviously, that's a little bit hard to transition, but I'm still grateful that I'm able to stay home and actually just study instead of like kind of hang on edge and stuff. Yeah.
So this project that you have inside the exhibition, or installed in the exhibition, when did you start creating it? When, at least the first item?
Well, I started the idea at like September when I finally can be able to go back in person. I was so excited. I was like, yes, finally, this is the first time I'm actually excited to go back to school and have a human interaction instead of Zoom meeting or video call with my friend. I can actually talk to them in person. And I was so excited. I was like, I wonder how long have since last time I feel this way. I was exciting about something in my life. And
Wow.
I was like genuinely happy with something new happened in my life. Like this is wow, this is made me want to get off my bed and go to school, and made me want to get off my bed and start working and start kind of have a better life per se, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, that's when I start thinking, yeah, that's when I start thinking maybe I should think about it. Like, is my days back in quarantine really that bad? Is it really that hard for, well, it is hard for everyone, but is it really like, is there nothing in it that's good? And how would I ever like get my life back if, you know, something like this happened and I just decide to, hey, I'm not gonna do anything, I'm just gonna lie in my bed and think about nothing. Like, I don't want to have that feeling anymore. This is kind of a like a transition of me not wanting to do anything to, no matter what happened, you still have the passion for everything around you, kind of.
I really get a sense of that passion and joy for life. I mean, you've painted and created some beautiful pieces as a part of the installation. Some of them just like, I want to like take the croissant out of the painting and have a bite out of it. Or like the selection of drinks that you have on another painting. It's like, oh, I would like to have item 5 through 10, please. That looks delicious. And so that the joy that you have that you're describing, that you say that is pushing you forward to create these works, are really coming forward in the paintings, because I feel like I have a sense of, I want to participate in those paintings as well. Can you describe why you chose all the different, like the variety of production in the installation? You have some acrylic painting and oil paintings. You want to talk about, is that just because you're just so passionate about different things, or
Yeah.
why all the different pieces?
Well, actually, this is actually very funny. Like every time I'm applying for a university, and every time university have like supplementary question in review, they ask me what I'm passionate about, and I always answer I'm passionate about new thing. I'm like every new thing, new experience, new material, new people, new food, new area, new environment, new situation, everything like not what I always live through is exciting for me. And I always want to try out like different medium and different kind of form of art. That's why I'm doing installation, so that I can put all my want kind of into that one piece to showcase like my passion for life, my passion for art specifically.
Oh.
And I choose acrylic because, well, I in beginning of the quarantine, we bought a whole package, like from Michael's, is this whole package of acrylic paint, oil paint, and watercolor. Of course, I didn't use it for 2 years.
For 2 years, you didn't touch it.
I did try to, because I did have art in grade 10, which is why with grade 11, which is I purchased it. But besides classes, I never really truly kind of devoted myself into this part of my life. And I really want to take this experience and create something not just for school projects, something that I'm actually exciting to create, and something that I'm actually passionate about. And like I genuinely like myself and like my life, so why not just create something about my life? And as you said, the croissant, like every time when I go out with my friends, I always get a croissant and a cup of flat white, and that just the little spark of happiness, kind of like that. And acrylic
So
paint just,
lovely, that like spark of joy, and
yeah.
it really is nice. Now I want a flat white, please.
Yeah, acrylic paint is just kind of the most affordable way kind of for me to start my experience in art, instead of like just start with a whole like big canvases and big oil paint and start drawing us, then start painting like a birth of Venus or something like that. I want to start with little things, small thing that actually makes everyone look at it and feel, hey, maybe I'll get that too. Like kind of bring joys into everyone who is looking at it.
I think that was a successful piece of this installation, and I can't wait for people to experience it as well. You're talking about these moments of joy and having it with your friends and being so excited about being in person again. Could you speak to how you and your colleagues, with your peers in the art classes, what it means to be working together again in a classroom setting? I know that perhaps you were a hand model for a fellow artist in your class. Do you want to speak about what that means to you,
Yeah,
creating as a group?
of course. I think in studio work is, for me personally, is so much better than working alone. You kind of get the feeling that everyone's around me is creating amazing thing, and like, it makes you want to be a part of them. It makes you want to start working on your own thing and start sharing and start. I always find art as a pathway for leading people to your life, kind of like that. Is more of an expressionist way to tell people, hey, this is me. And working with someone else, it just made me like get to know them better. And I was the model for one of my friends' artwork called Satin Stain. Is is a very amazing piece. It's talk about a lot of deep issues in the society. And when my friends asked me, I was like, of course, why not? I would love to try that. I never worked with plaster and plaster bandages before, and it's just a very fun experience. We just hang out one day and say, hey, let's make that. I was like, yes, let's do that. And I genuinely feel like this is such a good feeling to be able to work with someone else that you love, someone else that you're also creating a passionate great art piece together, and you kind of be part of it. You're like, yes, this is it, this is the life I want, kind of like that. Yeah.
I am living into your energy. I'm enjoying this very much. I would say that all of the excitement that you have and the passion that you have to try the new things is being translated into the exhibition for sure. Could you talk about what it means to you and perhaps your friends to be participating in this annual exhibition?
I think I never was kind of like a part of something big like this. It's like I find exhibitions such a, like, well, use my fancy, very fancy, because I always enjoy go to the Ontario Art Gallery to see exhibition from many great artists. And every time I go, I put on my headphone and listen to classical music. I was like, yes, feeling like a, I don't know, feeling like someone living the 19th century and just enjoying the art, enjoying the music, kind of enjoying the atmosphere, enjoying the ambiance, kind of like that. And it just so excited for me to be a part of an exhibition that I wish someone else could have their headphone on, listen to their own music and just enjoying the moment, enjoying the environment. And that just made me, every time I think about it, it made me like, wow, I can't believe I'm part of this. I can't believe I'm actually in the interview talking about this. And yeah, it just really excites me. And yeah, it's just genuinely a very great experience. And plus, as I just said, it's just artwork. Every people's artwork is kind of creating a path leading to their own identity, leading to their own personality. And I really want people to kind of see a path and maybe walk into a bit, get to know me a little bit better. Maybe they like me as a person, maybe they don't. And I just enjoy this kind of like interaction with human interactions through art and through kind of communication through music and through all of those medium, and it just really makes me happy. Yeah.
I am loving this description that the art is a pathway to the artist to get to know them. I I adore that because I feel the same way. I get to meet 51 artists through their art. Well, with this show's 51 artists, I get to meet you all through your work. And you all have something very important and fun, and sometimes it's difficult conversations to have. And I think your piece in particular, you've opened up many pathways because your installation is made up of several pieces. So thank you so much for that description. I really get it, a really great visual of that. And I want to put classical music on and listen and through the gallery.
Try that one day. It was awesome.
I will, for sure. I don't know why I haven't done that before. I would encourage that for everybody. What do you hope people get to experience when they come to see your work? What do you hope they take away when they come up to your work and then leave the gallery?
I think, well, for everyone, quarantine does bring a certain like weird feeling. I don't mean sad. It's just weird for me at first. It's just like, how did that happen? I'm like, always for 2 years, I'm wondering, how did that happen? Like, why? Like, it come from nowhere. It just happened and it hit everyone with no empathy. It kind of affects everyone's life. And I think a lot of people have the same feeling as I do. I think a lot of people had a certain, like my friend had certain like motivation at first, and they're like, I'm gonna start working out, I'm gonna start like practicing guitar, practicing piano, I'm gonna start listening to TED Talk, and having that kind of motivation and productivity to do everything. But after I think for me, it's after a month, I realized, yeah, this is not gonna end anytime soon. This is not, oh my God, this is eternity. And it kind of hits me, and I just start having absolutely no will to get out of my bed. I was just like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna take a nap. After my 8-hour sleep, I'm gonna take a nap. Yeah, but that's kind of, I'm ashamed to say, during online class, sometime in the morning class, I just enter the meet and then go back to sleep for like 20 minutes and then come back and like get the attendance and stuff. I'm so guilty of that, but I think I don't want to assume everyone has that same experience. But I just wish someone who does have the same feeling as I do, kind of going through the same experience I did, kind of gain back their passion and their like the vivid image of life after like kind of seeing my piece. Because for 2 years, I feel like I'm touching my feelings through a blurry glass. I don't really feel them. I just know that they're there, but I cannot like actually touch them. Like they're just there. And I guess it kind of related to my like willingness to get out of my bed and start living, basically, instead of just lying in my bed the whole time. And I think this piece, the meaning of this piece is kind of like, well, for me, is I kind of gain back a sense of life, my life, sense of me, through every brushstroke, every time, every photograph, and every just vivid image of every memory piece, every memory clip, every life clip that I included. This, for example, from the novel, it reminds me of time. It reminds me of a time where I actually productive enough to read 3 books in a month. That's not even like a lot of book, but like it reminds me of a time that I'm actually like have the desire to be a better person, to be a like smarter person, to be just genuinely a good, better friend, a better daughter, a better student, and all that. And yeah, where I was like when the image of my the baby me is kind of like the time where I was really have the most curiosity to the world. And it's kind of like what my takeaway from my piece is kind of, by the time you start looking for it, you already find it. By the time you realize that this is not what I want, I'm gonna look for something that's more meaningful to me, or not meaningful to me, or just something I want to have, you already got that. Specifically means life. Like when I starting to find my life, I'm starting to place pieces together, I found them. Like, I realized that there's so many things in my life that's amazing, and that's just deserve to be like put in put in an art show and tell everyone that, hey, your life isn't that bad. And
Been
you
through a lot, and you've experienced a lot, and you've represented a lot of those feelings, experiences, and joys, and pain, and discomfort. There's a lot of discomfort and uncomfortable senses. I mean, the shoe rack itself is uneasy. It
yeah,
kind of wobbles a little bit. And I feel like that in itself presents a very interesting visual, that there was this feeling of wobble that we all had, because we were unsure. We didn't know what was happening,
everything
but we
is
were all going through the steps.
yeah, we're just being, we're just
We're
going
being
exactly, we're not
and
seeking
creative.
yeah, we're
I
not
have to acknowledge how much you created, and in the circumstances in which you created, it's a wonderful thing to see all the works together. You've created all these mini paintings, photography, and then built up this almost sculptural piece to present in this year's exhibition. Everything that you've said tonight is important, and everything you're saying with your artwork is important and worthy. Your work that you've accomplished in this in the installation is a lot of work that led you up to what is presented, and I applaud you for having the courage to present it in the first place. First, you needed the courage to create it, and now you need more courage to say, I want to show it to the world.
Mm.
And thank you for that.
Thank you.
Because it's an important viewpoint that we haven't been able to see that much. We know it exists.
Yeah.
Because we all kind of experienced the time in our bedrooms, in our small offices that we made up in our kitchens or dining room tables. And we haven't really explored that story that much, but I am extremely interested in the stories of the students who had to go through it. So thank you for your story, and thank you for your contribution for this exhibition. Is there anything that we've missed in this conversation? And anything else that you want to add?
Well, first, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm very grateful. But also, I think we covered most of it. Also, I want to say that I am definitely not like this. What I have right now is not the worst. It's actually, I recognize my privilege in life, and I recognize that a lot of people may not even have the time to just have the time to sit down and think about what did I do, and because they're pushing by life, they're pushing by their life, but they're pushing by the time, and they're pushing by paycheck, and they're pushing by their pressures of family. And I recognize that, and I just want to say that I honestly, I don't know what to say. I don't know. So everything is so
you're trying to acknowledge your privilege, and you have done that wonderfully and very sensitively. So thank you for that. And I want to place gratitude with your family, because this piece was a little bit large to deliver. So let us thank your family who helped you deliver it and bring it forward, and also supported you through it.
yeah.
So I just want to send gratitude that way as well.
Yes, my mom will receive it.
And I just want to, once this exhibition concludes, but this interview lives on,
Yeah.
and the installation goes home to you,
Mm.
where do you hope, what do you want to do next? Like, what's the next step for Kathy?
Well, in my well, we have to write, we were asked to write a reflection, which we're really excited about. What I wrote in the last section, I said, until now, the journey continue. I would continue to try to catch every moment that bring me joy. I try to catch that every moment that's special, that's different, or that's just like every daily life that's not that special or not that exciting, but it's still kind of a part of my life and a part of everyone's life, really. And I try to appreciate that and be grateful for whatever happened to me, and try to, I don't know, live through every obstacle that I could ever possibly receive. And yeah, I try to be more positive and upbringing about my kind of my perspective for everything around me, my surrounding, my environment, myself. Yeah, that's kind of my like on this level, that's kind of where I'm going. But on the artistic kind of perspective, I wish to try more media. I will, when I get my installation bag, I'll probably kind of place it somewhere in my room so that it reminds me of a period of time that I may not be absolutely satisfied with, but I'm still appreciate it. Yeah, and for future, maybe I'll try more medium that I could possibly medium, like, or try more like form of art, like video, or more installation or something like related with, yeah, I actually created a fashion piece, and I really want to continue. Yeah, I really want to continue on that too. So yeah.
You're creating on all levels. That's amazing. Do you plan to continue an artistic journey through post-secondary school?
Yes, I applied for a lot of art program in both Toronto and British Columbia, I think. Yeah.
Wow.
I applied for those program. At the same time, if I didn't get into it, I'm well, I'm planning on continuing as a hobby too. I still have my big box of acrylic paint, so
Gotta get into those.
I'm gonna finish using those and start digging into the technique and the style of oil painting and such.
Wow. You are creating left, right, center, south, all the directions. Congratulations. I am feeling super energized by your comments and your considerations, and I'm reflecting into what your piece looks like, and I'm feeling so honored to be able to present it this year in this exhibition. Not only because of what it represents, but what you hope for it in the future. So thank you once again for participating in MCOYA 2022. And I look forward to continuing the conversations with you in the future. Thank you so much for participating with us.
Thank you so much for giving me the platform too.
I'm going to say good evening, and we'll come back again with another student interview.